Alrighty, Spazites, welcome once again to another Transformers video review. Today, we are going to be reviewing the combined form of the Seacon's Piranha-Con. I've been sitting on this for, I want to say like 2 weeks, maybe even more. Basically since last video I made. Trying to figure out how I want to make this video. I have no idea how I want to do this. So I'm just going to cobble something together because, frankly, I'm sick of sitting around not doing anything. I'm sick of not making the video. So we're just going to throw something together. I've already got Turtler Snaptrap in torso mode. So we're going to set him over there. And now we've got to decide what to do with these guys. I've got the sword all combined. Whoops, I'm going to have to turn my volume off on there. I've got the sword all combined. So there's that. This is Piranha-Con's giant sword, which is really cool. I like this thing. It is neat. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is that these are different colors because the original pieces were made from different colors. This is also white. This is black. So that's the only thing that bothers me. It's not a big deal, but it does bother me a little bit. But otherwise, this is a wicked sword. Now, I know the upgrade set comes with this sword as just one piece, and I think it looks a little less like a huge three-pointed spear in the background. If you heard that sneezing, that was Gina, Randy's mom, in the background sneezing. So, that looks kind of cool. That's another great thing about all these weapons and things that come with these sets is that there's options. Yeah, maybe it doesn't look as cool. But to be completely honest, this sword would have been just fine like this, just a giant actual sword instead of having these crazy King Triton tipped things on either side, but meh, whatever. What can you do? Anyway, there's that. We do get 5 hands because we have 5 individual characters. One character, or each character, can mount its combiner port on the top of the hand here. And I think these are redesigned. I don't think they will fit the Titan Masters or Prime Masters anymore, unfortunately. I think they're now too big for them, though I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried it. But yeah, anyway, I've got to actually look up and find out. I know that we've got at least one combo gun that uses all the guns except for Tentakill's gun, I believe. So that's what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and quickly look up the instructions because none of these have the instructions for the combo gun. And I'm not even sure if the combo gun is official. But with all these extra ports, especially on the Turtler gun, there's got to be, they have to have known that people were going to put them together. So I'm assuming there is an official configuration for the combo gun, even though it's not in the instructions. So I'll be right back after a quick cut. I'm going to look up how to form the combo gun, and then we will get to putting together our Gestalt, and we'll look at all the different pieces in limb modes, and each one will have its own gun mode. So yeah, I think we might look at each's gun mode and then look at all the limbs. All of them in arm mode and all of them in leg mode. But I don't know. The way I originally wanted to do this is I wanted to transform each of them so that they were all in so that we got, basically it was just a rotation. We had 2 arms, 2 legs at a gun, and then the gun would become a leg, one of the legs would become an arm, and one of the arms would become a gun, and then just keep rotating like that. I'm not sure how I want to do this. As I'm recording, I still don't know how I want to do this video. So that's why I haven't put out a video in 2 weeks, because I've been I guess had writer's block, even though I don't write anything ahead in these videos, but I just haven't been able to decide what I want to do with this, and there's just too many decisions here, because you've got, basically there's just a lot of transforming to do, and that's the thing that's really getting to me. And I know that there's not that much transforming to do for them into limb mode and then gun mode, so I don't know. Enough chit chat. I'm going to go ahead and put the guns together in the combo gun, and we'll be right back and at least get that much of the video done. Okay, so this isn't an official combo mode for the gun, but it's one of many possible options, of course, just because there are so many plugs and whatnot on this set, that this large gun will always be the central main gun of the build. As you can see here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 barrels pointed at you when you look at it that way. But each one of these is easily replaced. These both go on one of the guns. Whoops. That wasn't supposed to come off. So these 2 blue ones both go on one of the figures when it's in gun mode. These 2 go on one of the figures when it's in gun mode. These 2 go on one of the figures when they're in gun mode. The only other thing is... okay, hold on. Sorry about that sudden cut. Randy was calling because I told her that I hope she was home before I go to game night. But game night's tomorrow night, not tonight. So, anyway. Yeah, so these 2 guns, and any of these guns can be replaced by each other. So this gun, if you take any of these 2 guns off, they're fine. They're not missing anything. The only issue is if you're using one of these instead of, say we're using these 2 instead of this for its combined mode. The only problem becomes, where do you put this gun? This one, in this case, could fit up here, but that whole combo looks exceedingly ridiculous. You could always just maybe put it on the underside here. It doesn't fit really well, but that looks a little better. Or you could put it sideways, then it holds a lot better and still doesn't look too bad. So that's kind of cool. But otherwise, any one of these longer guns can come off and replace the shorter guns, and then the little ones can go on the sides of all of these larger ones as well. Because each of these guns on the sides, except for... oh, come on, that doesn't want to go in. Except for these, has one of these on the opposite side. The only problem with this one is that that wouldn't work with this one. But this one can always go right down here, which is the only place it really needs to be. So that's also a plus. I think that putting these on the ends of these looks pretty cool. Just to have 2 slightly smaller guns. That almost looks like a missile sticking out of a gun, except this is obviously not a missile, it's only got 1 wing. on it. But, yeah, whatever. Anyway, there's any way you can think to do, you can put these together. I don't think there's an official way. And like I said, there's always going to be one missing, because this one's always the main one. We got this one, and this one. These two, and these two will always be part of a bigger gun made from a Seacon. The only time you'd have to worry about that is if, say, one of your Seacons was blasted and could no longer become a limb or a gun. And then if you still wanted a gun, you'd combine all of the gun parts into a large gun. So, Piranha has it going on as far as weaponry goes. Each of the Seacons has a gun and a bladed weapon. Turtler is jacked up with 2 additional weapons here. Oh, by the way, when I transformed Turtler, I found out that these do come out. There's just a lot of force involved with pulling those bad boys out, but they do come out, which is really cool. Another thing I found is that his wings on his head come out just a little bit. You almost can't tell, but I guess there's a replacement head to make the head and this whole chest piece larger, and the head larger in the upgrade set, which I'm still not sure if I'm going to do. If I do that, there will be a video about it, so that's good. For me, anyway. I don't know if you care. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and transform the Seacons into... let's look at all of the weapon modes. I think we'll do it that way. We'll look at all the weapon modes, and then I'll transform them all into a leg, and then all into an arm. And then we'll decide who our favorite... Well, I'll decide... who my favorite gun mode is, who my favorite 2 legs are, and who my favorite 2 arms are, and we'll move on from there. And then I'll build the combiner, so we just won't see all the different combinations of legs and arms. I think that's just going to be the easiest way for me to do it and not be overwhelmed. I know it may sound cheap for some of you, like I'm trying to get out of doing extra work, but I feel that way, but I'm overwhelmed. So I got to do it the way that's going to be most enjoyable for me. So yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back after another quick cut, and we'll look at all of the individual Seacon weapon modes. So yeah, stick with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll be right back. Okay, here are our 5 Seacons in gun mode. Obviously, the torso Seacon Turtler does not have a alternate mode other than just the torso mode. So we will look at each individual Seacon, and let me know what you think my favorite is. Just having them lined up like this, I already do have one favorite, but let's go ahead and look at each of them from left to right here. First, we have Tentakill. Tentakill looks to be... I've got their hands here for... this is how they'll go on each of the bots in their their gun mode and the robot mode. So the hand will be like that, and then boom, boom, boom. So here we have kind of a short gun. Well, they're all kind of short guns except for this one. But here's Tentakill. I'm not too keen on the gun having a giant face on top of it. So I'm not really into that. Other than that, Tentakill's gun looks okay. I really wish we could do a little more to hide the robot and make it actually look like a weapon. But we do have a weapon here. I was impressed that in transforming Tentakill, we have little clips that go in the feet that hold the hands in the feet right there. That was really cool. And then there was somewhere else I noticed that, oh, where was it? I don't remember now. But there were some clips in there that I'm like, oh, that's what those clips are for. And I was just impressed at the forethought to to do that. But there's Tentakill. Next we have, is this Gulf or Overbite? I think this is Overbite. Overbite is a rather long gun, the longest of the guns. Again, he's got some clips holding his arms in place, which is really cool. The whole thing is pretty solid, actually. I was surprised at how solid it was. His head is kind of here in the back, but it's not a giant face staring up to the sky, so I'm happy about that. And overall, he looks pretty cool. The barrel of the gun, or the body of the gun, is pretty solid. It doesn't look like a sprawled out transformer. The underside is still also pretty solid. So overall, I think that's a pretty cool looking gun. Then we have Gulf, aka Scalar, I believe. Scalar is a very short and stubby gun. He actually has 4 barrels. We've got the 2 barrels that were his weapons, and then the double barrel tail weapon attached to his head. So he's got boom, 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 boom. So he's probably the most powerful gun of the 5, but it just looks like his body is all folded up and scrunched together. It's not very streamlined. I wish that you could drop his head down over the shoulder here, but what would be the shoulder, to hide this and make it look a little more streamlined, but then this wouldn't be visible unless it was just laying down on the roof of this. To be honest, I'd rather not have that at all. It just looks kind of weird the way it is. And other than it being so powerful, so kind of like, well, I can't really make any comparisons. I don't know anything about weapons and guns. We do have clips up in the head here to hold... Oh, wait, no, this isn't the one with clips in the head. No, there are clips. I'm not sure. It's a little loose, is what I'm saying here. It's a little loose, so I'm not a huge fan of that. You do collapse his legs in on themselves to make the long gun here, as opposed to, I believe his legs were originally extended and then folded back, but now they're scrunched down and collapsed in on themselves. But anyway, there's that one. Next is Lob Claw. Lob Claw looks cool. Lob Claw is another double-barreled gun. He's got, that's his tail gun, and then his robot's gun is attached to the underside of his tail gun. The only thing I don't like is that the barrels are so far apart. I really wish that Lob Claw had a button up here to attach guns to, as opposed to the underside way down here. So that, I don't know, I just think it would be a better match. Instead, he just has a hole right there, and this other gun is attached to it. So, I could probably finagle something to make it look a little better, maybe. If I put... No, it's just not going to work. I really wish I could do something like this, is what I'm saying. That would be so much better, in my opinion. But instead, we've got this. Now, I do like the fact that these legs folded down here kind of hide the fact that this is just hanging. So that is a plus. Again, I like the body put together like this in this one. And once again, I found that there were some interesting clips to hold the arms in place. Of course, that might take in for arm or limb mode, which I haven't looked at all yet. But overall, this gun is pretty okay. I'm not a huge fan of these legs dangling down. I do like that they hide the fact that that gun's just hanging off of there. But this is the hand down here. And let's see, the hand as a fist is going to look like that. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Otherwise, this one is pretty cool. It's a solid gun, which is good, because the other ones aren't very solid. And then last but not least, we have Seawing, a.k.a. Kraken. Now, Seawing, a.k.a. Kraken, is really cool. It uses all three of its guns. Let's see if I can focus. There we go. It uses all three of its guns. We got this one here with the two smaller wing guns attached to the sides. His body is all folded up into itself, nice and snug. So, I do like it. I kind of like the fins being up like that. It gives the gun a sleek look that's really neat. And, yeah, because of the slightly longer nose, I think this is probably the, it's probably longer than the Lob Claw gun, but not as long. So it's probably the second longest gun. And it's got a triple barrel, so it leads me to believe that it's pretty powerful as far as it being used in a weapon mode, which is cool. And it's got a nice solid gun body. So, you know, I don't feel like it's going to fall apart or flop around or anything. So that's also a big plus for me. So, yeah, there we go. That is all 5 of our Seacons in their gun mode. Now, my favorite one, I was originally going to say is this one. This is the one I was really going for just because it's a really long gun. And it looks like it would match up really well to a giant Gestalt robot. You know, I would love to see a long gun. Now, he is also going to have a long sword, and this giant gun he can use whenever he wants, which is easily not as big as any of the individual Seacon guns. But I think I'm going to go with Seawing. Once I actually took and looked at him and showed him to you guys on video, I think I like Seawing as the gun of my Gestalt, mainly. Now, we are still going to look at the legs and the arms individually, all the legs and arms, all the characters as legs and arms, so I'm not going to leave my favorite as a gun. I'm going to look at the legs and arms and see who I like best as legs and arms as well. But as of right now, it's down to Seawing is my favorite, with Overbite in a close second as far as my favorite gun. Hey, let me know below who your favorite gun is. And, yeah. And, I don't know if I want to end this video here. And, yeah, I think this will be a 2-part video, because this section of the video is already 10 minutes, which means this is almost a 20-minute video, and I haven't even put the Gestalt together. So, we're going to end this video here. So, tune in next time for the second half of my Piranhacon video, where we will look at the arms and legs, and finally the Gestalt form. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment down below. Feel free to thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you really like my videos and you're not already, please subscribe. It's completely free to do, and to help me grow my channel, I'd really appreciate it. That having been said, until next time, as usual, be kind, happy hunting, happy hunting, and goodbye. Don't forget to wash your hands, and when you go out, please be safe. I hope you love these Seacons as much as I do. Bye, everybody.